Newcastle restricted the number of goal-scoring opportunities in the first half. Important for your team to stay patient.
Absolutely, that was the key word. We had to be patient, but we need to play with a different urgency and rhythm. And that's what we've done much better in the second half, as well as occupying different spaces and threading those spaces more. And that's how we scored the goals.
The game's decided. You know, I know we were a goal down, but the incident with Callum Wilson and the penalty, I think that's a really tough call against us. And of course, then they score the second goal in the aftermath of that.
Spectacular, wasn't it, from Gabriel Martinelli?
Yeah, the movement, the pass from Tommy was great. And then when the ball is flying over your head, it's really difficult to keep the ball down like he did. So that's what he can do.
You've had to be patient to wait for your opportunities this season.
As I always say, even if I play 5, 10, 15 minutes, I'm always ready to play and show something.
Gavi, like others that we have, and I'm lucky to have them, they are really respectful, they are patient, but as well they challenge every decision in the right way. And this is what happens when you train like he does. The moment he needs to play, he's ready.
You're still right at the beginning of your tenure in terms of working with the players. Are you already seeing a response in terms of what you're trying to get across?
Yeah, I think so. I think the players have been very responsive. I think they've, in the 2 games that we've had, given everything to the team. I can't ask any more than their best. We know we're in a really difficult position, and we know we've got some important games to come.
Yeah, Arsenal back to winning ways. Newcastle's woes continue. You're having a bit of a fullback love-in this week. We've got Tavares. Now, it only takes a minute to transform a player's career with a bit of money.
A little bit of loving from Mike. He was excellent. And I'm not just doing it because he was a fullback, but he was one of the best players on the pitch. What I liked about him is he just didn't stay. Every opportunity, he went forward, and he went forward with quality. You know, sometimes when you're a full-back in there, his first instinct, look at him, can I get forward? I mean, Kraft had an absolute nightmare against him today. He ends up fouling him here.
He certainly did.
I really like the next clip. This is what I'm seeing with the modern-day full-back. Look at his position here. He gets in this is where you would find normally a midfielder. And us fullbacks from back in the day wouldn't know what to do there. But look at the awareness from him to play Saka in there. I mean, what is he, 21 from Benfica? A little chop here. He's confident now. He's having fun. £8 million. He's keeping out Kieran Tierney, who I really love. He started the last 5 games. And everything he did in his game today was just quality. Look at that for a ball. I mean, you would have scored that, Gary. Well, so you say, but there's no evidence of that, Jermaine. We keep looking for the evidence, but it's never there. But he today was brilliant. He really was.
And he's never had a love like this before. No question about that. As for Newcastle, well, still without a win, still without a clean sheet, they're in trouble.
And you can see why in performances like today. I thought for moments they looked OK today, but then when it really came down to it, some of the decision-making defensively is just all over the place and shocking. I mean, Kraft coming out of his position, why I don't know there, because there's no pressure on the ball. Partey's in midfield. He's got time when this ball comes to him to get his head up. Arsenal exploited this space down this side time and time again against Newcastle today, and it's because they were just so disjointed at times, and the decision-making from individuals as well, like lack of leadership and, you know, just that lack of understanding in defensive moments. They look great here. They've got plenty of bodies. They look like everything's under control, but Kraft's got to get tighter, put some aggression into the way that you press. One simple kind of run from Saka, and now all of a sudden you're 1v1, everything's at 6s and 7s, and you've got a man free in the middle of the box. So to have that many numbers, there's no communication, there's no talking. And I spoke about leadership a minute ago. Here's a shape again. This is the way you might be if you're Newcastle at the Emirates. Quite often, the little bit of space that you've gone into there is what they wanted to do all game. Kraft's lost his man, right? He's lost his man. So who's reacting? Who's seeing what's going on? There's my skipper. He can see everything that's going on in this phase of play. But instead of getting across, putting in a crunching tackle or a goal-saving tackle, he stood there with his arm in the air.
Waving to someone.
He's saying, look, let VAR deal with that. Yeah. And then that's the first goal. The second goal is just as bad. They start off in a really nice line, good shape, everything looks great. But as it develops, Richie's getting deeper and deeper on that far side. So now Shaw goes in, he's out of position. Again, Jamal Lascelles can see everything. But because the line is all over the place, Martinelli can just make that run, He gets kept onside by Matt Ritchie. And you're just looking at it going...
finish, though.
Great finish, but you're looking at it going, he's got so much work to do.
Yes.
You know, the bottom line of it is, if these stats here stay the same, they're basically bottom of everything. Goals conceded, XG conceded, and the shots faced. You can sign as many flamboyant players as you want in January.
It's not going to be easy to sign them in January.
If that don't change, nothing. You know, you're gonna go down.
That's very true. Now, we've had a complaint from a viewer about a couple of decisions. Mr. A. Shearer of Byford Grove has written in, and he's not happy.
What's it?
This? I mean, Ødegaard's not even looking, and he's got his arms all over him, but... You know,
if you're going to give a penalty every single time, if you start giving them for that, Jermaine.
Well, you think this is a penalty?
I actually think Tavares, I've given him all the loving, but I actually think this is a penalty.
This is never
I
been
really do. I think Wilson's just ahead of him, just a little touch.
Never been a penalty.
I actually think that's the penalty.
No chance. Well, we have to balance it out as well, because, you know, in this type of situation, Arsenal fans are going, what about this?
Ooh.
And
well, that's
I think they have
more
a
than
point,
either of the other two.
in all honesty. I mean, that is...
I agree with that. That is...
It's pretty reckless, put it that way. So
1 for 1.
OK. Yeah. I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Shearer. 5 games coming your way on Match of the Day 2.
Action to come from Arsenal's 2-0 victory over Newcastle at the Emirates. But at the half-time, you heard Alan's opinion on that first-half penalty that wasn't given in Newcastle's favour. Given the way the game went, given the importance of the first goal, which you talked about, Alan, as well, how big a call, how big a decision do you think this could have been?
Well, it should have been. I listened to what Dermot said at half-time to us. I mean, I think that's a howler. I really think that is a howler. I understand the referee not seeing it, but the VAR referee should be given that. He's got hold of him, 2 hands around him, not even looking at the ball, then drags him down. Tell me, I just don't see any other option than giving a penalty there.
You see the problem Newcastle have with that, with the way that they played in the first half and how difficult it was, and how Arsenal were misfiring. We saw Saka come into his own there. You need that decision, because that decision then gives you the energy and the confidence to try and hold on more, and then see if Arsenal, if they come out, take more chances, you might be able to get something. People don't realise how important those decisions are, because you look at it, and the more you look at it, the more you can't see how they've not given a penalty.
And as you say, Arsenal did come to the fore after that, and Saka finished off a 16-pass move.
Yeah, well, this is what happens when Arsenal, they started to... You have to say that Newcastle were tiring a bit. I know it's just the first not too long in the second half, but Arsenal were very much in control of the way they were. Al, you wanted to point out Lascelles.
Yeah, look at Lascelles in the middle. He's got to smell the danger. He's got to realise that Saka now is a problem. He's got to engage. He's got to come over a second earlier and do that, rather than standing there doing nothing with his hand in the air. I mean, it's terrible defending.
That's
brilliant from Arsenal.
Yeah.
Great play from Arsenal, very good. But from a Newcastle point of view, that is why they're in so much trouble, because they do not spot danger. They're not good defenders.
So that was 1-0. They had another penalty appeal. What was your view of this?
No, I didn't think this was a penalty.
Why does he go down, Alan?
I don't know why he goes down at all. There's a little coming together, there's a little nudge, but not enough for him to go down there. He's got himself in a really good position, Wilson. It's a good ball, it's a great run. He's looking down on the goalkeeper. I don't think that's enough for him to go down. I think the defender does what he has to do in terms of engage and make contact, but not a penalty for me, not enough, no.
Martinelli, on 93 seconds, his second touch. Tell us how difficult a skill this is, right?
Well, this is that's very difficult, coming over your right shoulder. I'm thinking that at some stage the he's got to at least at some stage get some kind of contact with him. I'd be expecting something. The goalkeeper, for me, has made that a little bit easier for him. The goalkeeper's got to be there in his face, because at some stage he's got to take his eye off of where the goalie is to concentrate on the connection. The goalkeeper should be in his face, knowing that he's got to take his eye off of that, and he weren't close enough. It's a great finish. It's a great ball from Tomiyasu. Yeah. But it's something, again, where you're feeling like we're nitpicking about it, but he's got to be closer. You've got to have some form of contact with the goalkeeper afterwards, because he's got to be closer to him.
I didn't think Arsenal needed to hit top gear today. Certainly, first half they didn't. They were better in the second half. What they did better in the second half was move the ball that little bit quicker, had a little bit more movement in and around the 18-yard box, and when they did that, Newcastle couldn't live with them and cope with them.
OK. Here's the situation for Newcastle then at the bottom of the table. Played 13, 6 points. I hate to say this to Newcastle fans all around the world, but no team with 6 points after 13 games has gone on to stay in the Premier League. That is the task ahead of the new Newcastle head coach, Eddie Howe. He saw one game from his hotel room. He saw today close up a 2-0 defeat to Arsenal. Let's see what he thought about it. Here are his views now.
Eddie, that's a disappointing result. How do you view the performance?
I thought it was good for the first probably 30, 35 minutes. I thought we were solid. I thought we creaked a little bit before half-time. Arsenal got on top, and probably the same after half-time until the goal. And then, obviously, I haven't seen it again, but the penalty incident and the second goal, Ramsdale's made a couple of great saves in the game. So I thought we were very close. Could have been very different.
Yeah, they took the lead, and then you're still, were you distracted by that penalty appeal? Because the second one went in while it was still all going.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can't speak on behalf of the players. But to me, it looked like a penalty, but you need to see it again and need to see why it wasn't given. But Callum looks like he's through one-on-one. But it wasn't, and we needed to defend it better. Obviously, that second goal was a killer blow at that stage of the game.
No clean sheet as yet. I mean, did you see positives out there today?
I did, yeah. I thought you saw a committed team. I thought you saw a group of players that gave everything. I thought we started brightly. I don't think we were our best with the ball today. I thought there was a lot of counter-attack opportunities for us to deliver better, especially with the players we have in the team. But we ended the game very strongly. We were the team trying to find a way back in. All those characteristics we're going to need. We never dropped our heads today.
Still a lot of work to do you think?
There's always going to be a lot of work to do, regardless of the result today. This was a big task ahead of us. It's got slightly bigger today, but I saw positive signs.
But potential turning point, of course, these next two games that you've got coming up, Norwich and Burnley.
Every game's a potential turning point. I don't think we can target specific games. It's every game we try to win.
Although they're the ones down alongside you.
Of course. Every game's hugely important.
Thank you, Eddie.
Thank you.
You can feel his disappointment, and that statistic tells you at this stage of the season he's got to defy history.
Yeah, it's a massive job he's taken on. As I said earlier, if he didn't know, he does now that he's going to need a lot of luck. He's going to need more players coming into the club in January, and hope that they're not adrift come January, because that might affect players' decisions in wanting to go to Newcastle, which is why the next two games are their season. They have to take 6 points.
How many, realistically, I mean, people say 10 of them, but in January it's very difficult to deal. How many do you think he needs to give them a fighting chance of pulling that off, Alan?
I think he needs at least 3 or 4. A couple of defenders, someone with a bit of guile in the midfield, and also someone to take the weight off Callum Wilson up front in terms of the goals. That's all right saying that, because every single club, other than maybe Chelsea or City, United, that they need a forward. They need someone to put the ball on the back of the net. Newcastle's big issue at the minute is defensively. I mean, they're nowhere near good enough, those defenders that they've relied on for so long now. Kept them in the division the last couple of years in playing a certain way. But once you open up, once you want to play on the front foot and play attacking football, you're leaving those defenders exposed, and they're not good enough.
As we sit here now, what chance have they got of staying up, do you think?
I don't think there's... Well, it's going to depend on who they do attract in January. And I have to agree with Alan. It's a different conversation if you're adrift. Why would you want to go if you're going to end up in the Championship? So I do feel for Eddie, because, like he said, there were some positives, but at the same time, when you're trying to look at the positives in how they're going to actually continue to maybe get at an Arsenal team, when they had that little spell where I thought they could have had a go at Arsenal, and they didn't quite do it. San Maximum, like the final ball, and even some of the times Ryan Fraser put the ball into there, give Callum Wilson a chance to maybe attack it, and those little things are the things that they're going to have to try and be better at, because it's going to come down to those small margins and taking that chance. Because if they're going to defend like that and they can continue to defend like they did in the first half and hold teams off, then the slim chances that they do, they've got to give him a chance to finish them off.
OK. Arsenal back to winning ways, having been beaten last time out, and of course, comprehensively by Liverpool. And Anfield is our next stop. As part of a 3-game goal rush, Liverpool could go second in the league. Southampton and Ralph Hasenhüttl are the visitors to Merseyside.